Welcome to Catch You Outdoors. I'm your host, Captain Rob Modies. This podcast is about living and playing in the Florida Keys. I cover my favorite sport, fishing, but also all the many things to see and do down here in the islands. Thank you so much for tuning in, and now it's time to kick back and relax with me in the Keys. This week's episode of Catch You Outdoors is number 192. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? Hoo-wee. I thought we were going to have to build an ark. Catch You Outdoors brought to you by Spotify, lots and lots and lots of other streaming podcast sites. Please tune in and enjoy, and then share it with your friends if you don't mind. This week's title is When It Rains, It Pours. Howdy, I'm recording this on Wednesday as usual, doing Wednesday morning-ish now. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff kind of planned today, and Janelle had business. She had to run down to Marathon and Key West for a couple of meetings, so I thought, well, I'll take advantage of the house being quiet and nobody in the office. So no fishing this past week. Each day led to another day of, let's see if I can go out tomorrow. Well, I'm not kidding. Oh, I'm going to go tomorrow. Go charge the batteries, get the boat all ready, and I got my time. And then, no, wind's 20. No, the wind and the rain come. No, there's thunder showers. It was pretty crazy, but we finally got the rain we've been looking for. So, welcome to hurricane season, as I like to say. June 1 begins hurricane season. Oh, joy. The news people were all over it. They can't wait. You people need to relax. I don't even want to go there, okay? So let's just leave it alone. We already have an area. It's being watched up off of Georgia. There's the yellow egg, as I call it, is sitting there with 10% chance, direction pointing to the northeast. So I'm not going to worry, but nobody down here is too terribly worried about that. But you got to say it, June 1, I think it was the second when it popped. Well, it was today. Today's the 4th. So it was the second or third when it actually popped up. So right on time. Again, a very low chance. So I don't know. Well, I mean, we are a target, and we all know that. So, and I talked about that last week. We know when to leave. They tell us to leave, we leave. So not a drop of rain for weeks and weeks and weeks. Dry as a bone, and then over 10 inches in the last 2 days. Yep, Monday, Tuesday. Monday was crazy enough. Monday we had 4 and a smidge, and then yesterday it literally rained all night and all day with 6.82 or something like that. Over 10. We're almost 11 inches actually, if you do the math. I couldn't believe it. Monsoon in the middle and upper Keys. I noticed Key West only got a total of about 3 inches over 2 days. So while it did rain there, it was nowhere near what we got up here. In my radar, it looked like Marathon all the way through Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. We all got soaked. And as a matter of fact, Miami's got flooding and street flooding and all kinds of fun things up that way still. They're waiting for the water to recede. It's been a problem there for a while, so that's not terribly unusual, but you get a lot of rain like that, it will. But I couldn't, my truck's clean. I swear, I've done I've done more than a couple. I've done quite a few road trips down to Key West, down to Marathon, where else? Homestead, up that, just a lot of road trips. And you pick up bugs and grit and grime. And I kept saying, I'm going to wash the truck. No, it'll rain. I'll wash the truck. And it never did, And so about 4 days ago, I'm like right on the verge. Ooh, what's that? Uh-oh. Big helicopter just flew over. Search and rescue. Can you all hear that? I bet you can. I'm just going to let it go for a minute. I'm not going to back up. It's one of the dangers of recording in the middle of the day. Well, it's better than nighttime. Nighttime, you get all kinds of racing cars going up and down US 1. So, okay, yeah, it was the Coast Guard helicopter. I just looked out the window. Boy, that's not good. Yeah, the weather has been. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I did all these road trips. I was going to wash the truck, and then I was looking at it. I went out this morning after 2 days and 10 inches of rain. It looks beautiful. It's completely polished. Honest to God, it looks like it went right through a car wash. So, see, that's the positive side of all this. So, Anyway, we needed it. I have no idea how it's going to affect the fishing, though, and I hope to get out soon to find out. A lot of fresh water is going to make its way down to the upper Florida Bay, no doubt about it. I mean, gosh, sheet flow is going to be crazy coming out of the Everglades. That combined with tide, the full moon tide, we're going to have some water. That's all there is to it. So I'll be curious to see what's happening back in the back. And that sheet flow will last for days, by the way. It's not something that just goes away. That much water, it'll take a little while for it to run itself down. But like I said, we needed it and all that good stuff. Sometimes the sheet flow will cloud the water up. I know it did in Key Largo. I haven't been down here fishing in the upper bay after rain in a very long time, so I'm going to go up there and experiment and see what's happening. But based on the bottom up there, which is very similar to the bottom, it's down in Key Largo up high, or up north, that mud, it's a silt. And it washes up very easily. So if there's any kind of wind or any kind of rain flow, it's gonna push some of that mud down. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to get out there Friday. Well, the weather service is calling for today, Wednesday, off and on showers. We haven't had any, but it sure looks like it's going to. I have not seen the sunshine yet, but tomorrow is supposed to be that with a little bit of a breeze, and then things are supposed to fall off on Friday. Originally, they said it was going to get windy, and I don't guess it is now. So keeping the fingers crossed. Water's disappearing pretty quick. We had standing water. Heck, you could hardly get into Chica. Next to us, the end of the road down there I'm going to guess had 6 to 8 inches of water on it. I'm glad we live at the top of the hill. I'll be honest with you. And I'm glad this house is built on a 4 or 5 foot stilt, if you was raised off the ground. But that wasn't really ever a problem here. With all that water, I went outside looking. I thought, wow, there's no standing water here. So that's good. I like that. But right down the street, within vision, I was like, wow, look at that. And they had pumps running last night. You could hear the pumper machine down there trying to get some of that water picked up. I don't know how that's going to affect the sargassum. We've had quite a bit of sargassum pushed up onto the beaches here in Islamorada. That's not unusual this time of year, and a lot of the resorts cleaned it off, put it in dump trucks, and haul it off. And we saw that a few days before the rain started. So, but I don't know how it'll affect it. I don't know if it's going to push it around or what's going to happen. So, let's see what else is happening. Tides. I mentioned full moon on the 11th. Let's see. Where are the tides? Next few days, tides are going to be high at sunup and then low at lunchtime and then high again around sunset. God, I love that 6-hour tide stuff here. It's so easy. If you get, for example, simply put, if you get a high at 6 in the morning, then about midday, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon. Yeah, noon, you're going to get a low. And then at 6 in the evening, you get a high again. It's great. And it shifts, though. Now, there's 50-something minutes in between there, so it's about 50, 53, 57 minutes off. So you add is basically what you do. So if you wake up this morning and you have a high tide at 6 in the morning, it's going to be around close to 7 in the morning tomorrow, and then 8 and so on. But it's very regular, and it makes it easier. Way easier. So again, the outlook for Friday is good. The tide should be decent because the full moon is on the 11th, and we're getting, what is today, the 4, 5, 6? Yeah, so it'll be great. Let's see. Fingers crossed. During the rain, I managed to finish 2 more books. Wasn't much else to do. I sure as hell couldn't go outside. Watched a little bit of television. Just basically did stuff like that. I played a video game, yippee-ki-yay. I did some songwriting, though, because it's therapeutic. So when it's raining, I don't know, your brain works in a different way. I realize that people say that we're mostly water, and we're mostly water-based bodies, and, of course, tide affects us and being near the ocean. They have all kinds of things. Well, obviously the rain does, too. And I tend to write better songs when it's raining. I don't know why. But so that was kind of nice. I've been keeping it's on my phone. I have like that notepad that everybody's got, and I use that for songwriting. When I hear a phrase or somebody says something that is either funny or just astounding, I will quickly pull the phone out and write it down. And I've got a couple pretty good one-liners that folks have spoken over the past month. And so I've started grabbing those, and I'll write songs about it. These songs are for me. I don't know if they'll ever be released. Unless I start doing it by myself, just putting a song out there, playing on guitar. I might do that. I might. I'm still a couple of songs away from finishing the album, and we're still working on it. I don't know if Billy's going to get it done, though. Billy's been pretty busy, and then the rain puts him out of work, and we can't really record in the rain. His studio, you would hear that. I mean, it would make noise. Not as bad here. This is not a recording studio. This is an office with a window. And happening today, I've heard a chainsaw, so I stopped. It didn't even start. That was early. Blowers, oh my God, this is the land of blowers, because we live in a resort area, and the resorts have to be pretty. And so they hit it with the blowers in the morning. And probably the funniest thing of all, every night at around 10 p.m., that's usually about the time we're in bed. The Cayo Grill right next door to us, they are a wine and beer only, and they serve a lot of wine apparently. And so they come out, there's a great big recycle receptacle for glass, and they come out and they dump the wine bottles, and you can set your clock. It's like 10:01. So I don't bother trying to go to sleep unless I fall asleep in the chair in the living room, which is away from the bed. Anyway, the bedroom's up against Cayo. Not up against it. We've got a whole lot in between us. But when those bottles hit, just imagine, 50, 60, 80 bottles of empty wine bottles hitting a receptacle made of metal. Yeah, it's great. Island living. I love it. So anyway, speaking of music, I think what I'm going to do is just run all over the place here. If you are a YouTube watcher, go there and search Billboard. And there's a special on there with Chris Stapleton, and hosted by an interview with Josh Brolin. And it turns out Chris is somewhat of a musical hoarder and collector. He built a barn to hold all this stuff. Now, this is stuff that means a lot to him too. This is the guitars he's played, the instruments the amplifiers, just everything, music that he has, and it's all stashed in this barn. And I don't know how this happened, but Josh Brolin wound up interviewing him, and it's a video interview, so it's fascinating. He takes you to the barn and shows you some really cool. I'm not going to give it away. You guys go and check it out. In his collection, he has some amazing things, and I enjoyed it. I really like Chris Stapleton. I find him very down to earth. I find him to be one of the best songwriters in the business by far at this point. He just keeps churning. Every damn hit song, you can buy a new house. It drives me crazy. Anyway, I can only hope, and that's all it is right now, just hoping. Let's see, the downloads of my songs have increased, though, a lot over the past couple of weeks. I have no idea why, but I'll take it. The most downloaded song last week was Alligator Church. Thank you all, whoever you might be. If you listen to the podcast, I really deeply appreciate that. And another announcement, Pandora has added all my songs and podcasts. I had no idea this had happened, and found out about it by accident thanks to a guy named Shane who works over at the marina. Shane takes care of things in a big way. He is the dude. And the music he supplies at the pool is always good. We have those built-in, those hidden speakers in the plants kind of thing. Yeah. And sound good, by the way. So he'll pick a channel and start playing stuff. And I've asked him once or twice, like, what is that? And he'll say, it's so-and-so. I'm like, okay. Not paying attention. Well, the other day he was playing an avant-garde mixed with bluegrass. I'm like, what in the hell is this? And he walked by. I said, is this your mix? Or where do you get this? He goes, no, it's on Pandora. I go, I have Pandora. I haven't used it in ages. He said, well, you should. They've vastly improved it. And I said, well, what is it? And he goes, well, they're called radio channels. I said, really? He says, yeah, you pick your favorite artist. In my case, that day, the other day, he was playing, the first song I heard that I recognized was Stick Figure. I love their reggae sound. They're really a great band. That was this band we went to see down in Key West not too long ago. So what happens is you say you want to hear Stick Figure radio. And the first song will be a stick figure, 9 times out of 10. And then they start playing other music like that. And it just goes on and on until you shut it off. And so basically you can pick whoever you want. Like here at the house, I love John Prine, so I picked John Prine. I said, play John Prine radio. And so it not only was it Prine, but it was every other folksy singer you could possibly think of over the, I don't know, last 30, 40 years. It was really something. So I highly recommend it. If you already have Pandora, excuse me, and you're like me, you haven't listened to it in a while, go sign up. And my songs are all on there. I was just blown away. I put my name in there and everything popped up. And you can make libraries, you can make set lists, you can make sound lists, you can put your favorite artists in there and ask for that. It's really, it has come a long way. I remember when I listened to it, there wasn't a lot of control over what came out, and it was mostly ads. So you can pay a monthly. I'd advise that. That's what I do. Pay them monthly to get rid of all the ads. And that way they're not breaking into the middle of a song, or at the end of the song have to listen to 2 ads before you hear the next song. I find that irritating as hell. I don't know why, because back in the day when we listened to FM radio, it happened all the time, right? Yeah, you got a song, maybe 2 if you're lucky, and then an ad came on. Yeah, okay, you've been there. Those of you that are old as I am. You remember AM radio if you're as old as I am. Let's see what else is going on. Snook season closed on the East Coast. That's basically middle north, as far as the snook are found, down through Miami. That does not include the Keys. We are in the southwestern region. For the life of me, whatever. I don't know why they did that, but it's totally closed now. Snook is off everywhere, so you cannot keep a snook. And I honestly don't know when they turn back on. Most of them are through the summer. So June, July, August. Some come on in September, at least they used to, and some come on later than that. Could be closer to like a December opening, so just be aware of that. I also wasn't aware. Of course, I don't fish for snook to eat. So, but I wasn't aware that the slot was an inch less over on the East Coast. Now down here we're in the Southwest, so our slot is 28 to 33 inches. The slot on the East Coast is 28 to 32 inches, and I had to smile about that. You got to hit 4 inches. Hold your fingers up. You got to make the nose of that snook land in 4 inches. I think that's hilarious. The odds are extremely low. There are a mess of 26 inches, and there are a mess of 30-something inches. There really are. There's almost no middle ground right now. And the 30-somethings are 34, 35, 38. I mean, they're nice snook out there, and I've caught them. So I got a 40 and a 41 not long ago. So you got to be aware of the fact that slot's kind of ridiculous. But I don't have any desire really to keep one. But I have to imagine it'd be tough if you're trying to get in that slot. I'll just stick to snapper and mahi right now. So I enjoy eating those. Hang on, back to music. I told you it's going to be all over the place. I didn't hardly make notes for this because I had no idea what I was going to talk about. Yeah, if you've noticed, I am all over. I should have called this Random Thoughts once again is what I should have titled this. I bought a dulcimer. Do you know what that is? If you don't, look it up. Dulcimer, dulcimer. I bought it back in the late 70s or early 80s. I'm not really sure when. I know I was out of high school, and I think I was out of the Coast Guard when I got it. So that would be when I got out of the Coast Guard, 79. Yeah. Green River Dulcimers in Elkhorn, Kentucky. You know how I found that out? There's a sticker inside. I knew it was Kentucky, and I knew it was in the mountains somewhere, but I had no idea where. Elkhorn, Kentucky, made by a company called Green River Dulcimers. So I looked it up because what I wanted to do was fix it up and restring it. It's been through hell. And I wanted to polish it up. The back was separating a tiny bit off of the main part of the dulcimer, which of course will cause it to buzz when you strum it. So I did all that. I did a lot of repairs while we were moving. A lot of Elmer's glue. I love Elmer's when you're working with wood. And then some polishing, and then eventually some strings, and I strung it up yesterday and started playing it. I just love the sound of the thing. It's crazy. It's a mountain bluegrass instrument, kind of like, has more like a banjo sound to it, but much easier to play. I'll take a picture of it, and I'll post it on my Catchy Outdoors Facebook site. That'll be Thursday usually I do that in the afternoon. So hopefully I'll have it up tomorrow for you so you can take a look at that. It's pretty simple. Mine has 4 strings. They make them with more. They make them with 5 and 7 strings, but mine's a 4-stringer. What you have is 2 strings close to you, up tuned to the same note, and that's what you play the melodies on. And then you have 2 strings that are tuned to a chord that match those 2 in the front. So you have kind of a drone sound, like the background of a bagpipe, just that boom, boom, that low thing. And you can play most anything on it. The front is scaled so that if you know the song in your head, you can pretty much play it. And there are people out there that are really creative with them. They tune them differently and they pick them instead of just playing the forward bar. But look it up, take a look, see what you think. If you've listened to any bluegrass, you have probably at one point or another heard or seen a dulcimer. It's a lap instrument. It's about the shape of an oversized violin, and you put it on your lap and play it on your lap. And I don't know, it bugged me because every time I moved it. And every time I moved it, I was real careful with it because it's handmade and it's beautiful. And I'm so glad I got it going together. But makes a beautiful sound. No, it's not for sale. I went and looked online. I went, oh, wow, those are worth more than I thought they were. So I better fix this up and make it work. So now where am I going? Oh, more fishing news. The CCA Star Fishing Tournament started on the holiday weekend. That would have been Memorial Day and runs to Labor Day. If you're a CCA member, you're already halfway there. Then it just costs you an additional $40 to join. It's an all summer long tournament. And what they do is, they have tagged redfish. If you catch one of those and you turn it in, or turn in the tag and a picture, you can win boats and trailers and all kinds of big stuff. They also have divisions for bringing in the most trash. They also have scholarship divisions, but they got $500,000 worth of prizes, just to give you an idea. And it runs all the way through Labor Day weekend. So get on it. You don't want to catch a redfish. I just saw the other day another guy caught a tagged redfish, was not signed up. What a bummer. That dude could have picked a boat. Last week I talked about Janelle's birthday. Yeah, it kicked off a long list of family birthdays for me. My Janelle's is the 26th of May. My dad, who passed away, is the 31st of May, or was the 31st of May. And then June 5th, my brother. The 7th is my mom, and the 11th is my sister. And I have a whole mess of cousins that have birthdays in the early part and middle part of June. And I also have a lot of friends. Facebook, your friends start popping up so you can wish them happy birthday. June's a time, isn't it? So anyway, I was like marveling at the fact that this is it. Now, back when I was very, very poor, this used to perplex me because I wanted to get everybody a card or a gift, and it was nuts, man. It was worse than Christmas. And finally, some fishing stuff I just can't resist, mostly about tackle. I was thinking about this as I was walking through the house yesterday working on an indoor project, mostly the Dulcimer project. I have been a consummate artificial lure fisherman for a very long time. And as I've mentioned, when I was guiding, it was bait most all the time with a few that wanted to use the latest soft plastics, and of course a very few who are fly fishing folks, guys and gals. Well, I have access now to live shrimp near where I put the boat in the water. So I'm making a point to try both and experiment. I have found that live shrimp works just about as well as whitebait, also now known as, or always known as, sardines and shiners and whatever else, greenies, whatever you might call them. That's true for most species. Shrimp does work as well, if not better. I think better in some cases, with the exception of snook and tarpon. I think tarpon absolutely love a little live fishy swimming. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's live and it's silvery and it's trying to get away. But anyhow, I've fished off and on with guides, and quite a few times they had frozen shrimp on board, especially when going after redfish. My friend Alex, he kind of turned me on to that, as well as a couple of guys down in the 10,000 Islands. They're like, don't get the stinky stuff. Get really good frozen shrimp, or buy live and freeze it yourself. And that will give you a bait that has just the right smell, apparently. That I know black drum like it a lot. I had a lot of success with black drum. Mangrove snapper, and redfish. And sheep's head. Oh gosh, I almost forgot sheep's head during the season. We don't see many of those down here, but that was something on the west side of the state that was huge during the wintertime. So I do know one thing. The frozen and all of them, really, live and frozen, work really, really well for snapper of all kinds. So on future trips, I'm going to try both live and frozen shrimp and then mix in likely artificials and experiment. And I will report back to you. This will take a while. I'm not going to do this in 1 week. But as I fish, I'm going to mess around. And as I've said in the past, I also carry a fly rod with me, just in case. I only wish I had the stamina and the back muscles to use a fly all morning, and that's just not to be. So I used it rather gingerly, and only after I've found fish feeding, not for searching. I wish I could. I really do. I used to love to go up to overhanging mangrove and put a fly up in there just to see what would happen, but I can't do that. I can't even do it all morning. I can't do 4 or 5 hours. My whole body just won't let me do it. Old age has some advantages, but the mind most certainly thinks that I'm a lot younger than I am. I'll tell you that right now. You all get it if you're up there, and I feel for you. I really do. But I'm going to try to get out there, experiment with all of it. And again, I mentioned earlier, Friday might be the day, so you all keep your fingers crossed, okay? I certainly hope to get out there. And now it's time once again for some useless information.
And now, from the original book of useless information.
You are a reject! You are useless! You can get a job down here cleaning toilets!
Here's your host, Captain Rob Modies.
Well, he swears up and down he's useless, but
he might be all right eventually, but completely useless.
With useless information.
And here we go. Let's see here. Before the 1800s, there were no separately designed shoes for right and left feet. I bet little kids would like that. Anyhow, any Russian man who wore a beard was required to pay a special tax during the time of Peter the Great. In the marriage ceremony of the ancient Inca Indians of Peru, the couple was considered officially wed when they took off their sandals and handed them to each other. You might want to try that at a beach wedding with your flip-flops, maybe. I don't know. Pirates thought having an earring would improve their eyesight. I have one, but I'm not real sure it's improved my eyesight. I just don't know. So, and there you go, y'all. Till next week. And before I go, here are some final words. I had forgotten what lower keys rainstorms look and sound like. It's pretty wild compared to the other areas. The thunder rolls somewhat like up in the mountains of North Carolina, which I am familiar with, and the rain comes in sheets, sometimes dropping an inch of water in less than 30 or 40 minutes. Pretty crazy. There's also a smell, kind of a wet freshness that descends on the area after the rain actually stops. It's cooler, and there's a very gentle light breeze that follows. I don't really know what that's about. And then the sun reappears like magic. And if you're lucky enough to be in the right position to see the light hit the departing last little bit of a rain shower, there will almost always be a rainbow. I love this island. Y'all take care, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed listening, please subscribe to the podcast channel and tell a friend. The Facebook page is Sketchy Outdoors. Website is sketchyoutdoors.com, where you can find all the previous podcasts and news about my books and my music. Until next time, get outdoors and enjoy.